Hello and welcome to City Edition, the City of Bend's video news magazine. I'm Justin Feinstone. They're called community service officers and they play an important role with the Bend Police Department, from enforcing leash laws to assisting in crime scene investigations. Take a look.
The community service officers are invaluable to the City of Bend Police Department. They provide a lot of different service areas. For example, they took 9,000 calls for service last year. 9,000. Of 9,000 calls for service, about 3,500 of those calls were animal complaints. Not just dog complaints, but animal complaints.
The ordinance is called Animals at Large, which applies to all animals with the exception of cats, but most commonly is applied to dogs. And basically the ordinance says that dogs have to be securely leashed whenever they're essentially off of the property of their owner, with the exception of being at a dog park.
The dog has to be on a leash. It can't be voice command. It has to be a leash that's securely fastened to an owner's hand. And the leash law really does a lot to help protect dogs, both from falling in a canal and getting swept away. It keeps them from getting in fights with other dogs. So the leash law is really there to protect dogs and people from hazards.
It is a very difficult ordinance sometimes to enforce, just because of the wide array of different situations we can encounter people in, from neighborhoods to parks to more rural settings such as the river trail.
This park is River Bend Dog Park. It's pretty large. It doesn't get muddy because they've installed bark chips, which is nice when it's rainy and snowy. Pretty well attended. There's always dogs to play with. Behind the park, there's also a dog beach portion of the dog park, so the dogs can go down and get in the river, and the river doesn't move quite as quickly here, so it's a little bit safer to let your dog get in and play fetch in the water.
We have had a number of incidents and we receive a pretty high number of complaints about the river trail. The ordinance is a city ordinance that is encompassing all of the city limits of Bend.
The CSOs also provide a resource for online reporting, because someone has to review those reports, and they provide that service for us. They review the online reports. If there's any suspicious activity or if they see a suspect developing from that online reporting, they contact patrol and let patrol follow up on that.
Yeah, a lot of people think that all we do is animal control, when really that's a small part of our everyday duties, from doing rescues to motor vehicle accidents to low-level criminal investigations. That's where the majority of our time is spent on a daily basis.
They help us with crime scenes, they provide traffic control. It's invaluable, the services they provide the community and the police officers at the police department.
What I enjoy about being a community service officer is the diversity of the situations that I'm able to assist the community and the rest of the department in. Generally speaking, we get to be a little bit more of the helpful side of the police department and help people through situations that are obviously challenging and trying to them.
So while the community service officers are handling those calls for service, patrol is available to handle assault calls, domestic violence calls, mental health calls, the things that are a higher priority and need immediately to the community.
Some of the things that I like the best about the CSO position is the variety, ranging from the dog aspect or the animal aspect, and the animal aspect covers wildlife also. We interact with badgers, deer, basically any animal that finds itself inside the city limits we could get a call about. I also really like the interacting with the public and solving problems aspect of it.
We can, again, just kind of help someone make a bad situation better.
Whereas the community service officer, we can take care of multiple little calls at a time and free up that extra time for the patrol officers to work major cases.